Hello, baby. Call me Neil Strauss, because we're gonna be. I guess no, that's wrong. I'm sorry.
Hi, Neil Strauss.
He wrote the game, but you know who play?
The
You
most
know who
dangerous.
does the game?
The player.
The player.
That's right.
That's my intro. Welcome,
That's a
everyone.
great intro.
Thank you. I appreciate it, and I appreciate you all for listening to this. Not all of you are patrons, but some of you are. So whether you're listening to the first 15 minutes of this, or
Or the last 15
Or the
minutes.
last 15 minutes, depending on if we get too raunchy in the first 15.
which
We're preemptively
apparently has
thanking
been a
you.
theme. However, we got all of the fetish and sex talk out before this, so I think we're okay.
Right before we started recording.
Yeah,
Literally
immediately.
moments before.
Can't
We're
can't
edging-
promise
we're
you
edging
anything,
you.
though.
Yeah, no
I
promises.
can tell you that much.
I mean, there's no
Oh.
video aspect of this podcast for a reason. Let me tell you that.
I was watching I was watching Forgetting Sarah Marshall, and I found out that's where I got the famous phrase from, where, and I'll just tell it to you. Jonah Hill's playing like an overzealous like waiter, and who was like really into Alger Snow, played by who's the Russell Brand, and Russell does like a song, and then like Jonah Hill talks to Jason Segal's character, and he's like, I just went from 6 to midnight. And then like Jason Segal just like looks at him like, ugh. And I love that phrase, 6 to midnight. I mean,
That is a good phrase.
it's like, yeah, MJ's doing the hand thing.
Yeah.
Good thing there's no video for this, but it's like, it's that and in Comedy Bang Bang, where I'm not going to say the character because it's bad. It's kind of related to the Vulture, which we know what we're talking about. But there's a character who says something like, "Oh man, I'm rocking like I'm Sam dogging it right now."
Oh, man.
It's a semi dog. So both of those are pretty good, actually. And I'm sorry, that's it. We're not gonna be nasty anymore.
Yeah, no more crassness on this podcast. We're talking only about wholesome things. Like
How about Crash More?
How about Crash More? Yeah, he gets
What
paid
about-
$2 million.
Crash
Yeah,
Bandicoot.
I get paid $2 million for this.
Yeah.
It's kind of a cosmic gumbo.
We were
but
just
yeah.
talking about I Think You Should Leave season 2. That's one of the better sketches in that. I love Crash More.
It's one of those things where we talk about the show and we say, "Oh, we didn't like it that much," and then we keep coming up
talking
with,
about it.
with sketches. That
I
are
mean,
actually
like I
pretty good.
said, we're getting off topic now. But like I said, anytime I did, like the first time I watched I Think You Should Leave season 2, I was like, that's not as good. But as soon as I just started describing the scenes to like the sketch premises to like friends, I would like start laughing because of how funny the premise is.
Well, maybe there's more sketches that we just forget about. Like I think we talk about every sketch in the first one, but there's
Mhm.
got to be ones in the second season that we just are forgetting.
I'm gonna
The
have to
thing is-
watch it all tonight to
Yeah,
figure
gonna
it
have
out.
to do that. That's what
Yeah.
I'm gonna do. But anyway, welcome to Style and Direction, a menswear podcast about the stuffiness, aka not aka the bonus feed edition. It's not
It's
also
the
known
bonus
as.
feed.
Yeah, it's not every episode is the bonus episode, unless you guys are really, unless this is like a delight for you, and life's like a big bonus for you. Because
Yeah, I mean,
actually, yeah, basically no one asked for you to live, but you get to.
Isn't every
no one
like,
asked for you to be alive, you piece of shit.
Yeah.
every extracurricular or recreational activity is a bonus to your life? Actually,
Yeah, I mean, you just need food, shelter,
water.
That's basically it, and then we're a bonus. So every
I mean-
episode you get is kind of a bonus.
Hey, like we talked about in the fit pick one, which I guess you guys haven't heard yet. But we
Spoiler.
do say that menswear is like cooking, and like you don't have to eat a steak, but you get to, and that's a bonus, baby.
There you go.
Yeah, I had to stop doing that because
What
well, I did.
bonuses?
I had to stop I would go grocery
Eating
shopping,
beef
and
every
then
day.
like every time I would go, I would be like, you know what, I'm gonna get myself a steak, but that's like an extra like $10 or $15 every time you shop. So I couldn't do that anymore. But it's so tempting when you could just get like a ribeye for yourself for $11.
I thought you were gonna go with the health angle for this, but I guess
No.
Like I can't
No,
eat red meat every day.
I would
that's good.
absolutely.
I guess in a way that's good that it's the budget
You
version
would
and not.
you would eat red meat every day?
I
I
would.
mean, yeah. I mean, hell yeah, dude. I mean,
I would
I
eat
mean,
it every day.
And then
I had a
eventually
bad
it become
day
a
at
health
work.
thing. Yeah.
And I can't talk about work on the podcast. But I am like, I'm considering. I was like, if people said to me, Ethan, do you want to get Korean barbecue right now? I would absolutely get it right now because
I mean, you could.
they
Hey,
sucked.
you could go to a grocery store. You could get a cast iron pan. You could get a steak for between $10 to $15. Get yourself a pretty good steak, and have a great night. I will say,
It's not all you can eat though.
that's
I mean,
true,
it's
but-
I mean, everything is all you can eat provided you have the funds for it.
I mean, you generally, if you depending on how big the steak you're getting, you don't have to get more than one. I'll say that.
I mean,
just get two.
yeah.
Yeah,
Just
or
get
you could
two.
get, Ralph's has the 2-packs, the value packs of the like tomahawks, which I've never gotten. Because I mean,
It sounds like we're having steak night at Spencer's at some point. You know what I'm saying?
Well, no, because the thing is, I was trying to like get good at like cooking steaks, and so you
have
know
to
what?
practice.
I'll admit, yeah, you have to practice, and I'll admit there were nights when I moved in and I was cooking for myself, I would have steak 2 nights in a row. Again, I had to stop doing this because it was too much money, but man, was it nice.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of nice, it's time for us to talk about the subject of the bonus episode. And if this is your first time, and hey, I think we can put this in the first 50 minutes because we haven't said anything super bad.
No.
To
Not
introduce
yet.
this for listeners, we talk about movies on our bonus
Mhm.
episodes sometimes, and maybe for December, it might not even be about menswear. It'll just be about a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Who knows?
I mean, what could you possibly give me?
Most of the time, I feel like we talk about
Everything.
Yeah.
There you go. We talk about movies that are currently in theaters, but today we looked back for a movie that's actually celebrating its 30th anniversary, I think.
Whoa, happy
Whoa.
birthday!
Which is kind of a coincidence, but we picked the 30th anniversary of the movie's release. That's right, we're talking about Robert Altman's The Player, which we've already mentioned like 3 or 4 times, I think. But
Yeah.
yeah,
If you guys haven't seen it, you guys should. It was me and MJ's, and I guess Spencer's first time watching it all the way through. I don't remember if I've seen like inspo of this movie. I know Spencer like shared something like early on to me, and he was like, "We got to do this movie," and I
Mhm.
was like, "Okay," and that's how we decided to do it.
Yeah. I mean, so a little bit about this movie. It's like I said, it's the 30th anniversary, so it's from 1992.
And set in 1992.
Yeah, that's right. It's set in 1992.
It's not a period film.
Although the first time I saw like the poster and some of the images from the film, I thought it was, because all the characters are dressed pretty retro. I think it was a conscious choice to have everyone dressed more like kind of 40s, 50s.
Yeah.
But yeah, you see in this movie a lot of like very bold double-breasted suits, a lot of like swing ties, a lot of people wearing like high-rise pants and suspenders and stuff like that.
Dobby striped shirts, etc.
Yeah.
And it makes sense because this movie is it's kind of like a satire of Hollywood a little bit. They got all the the sleazy execs. They're all wearing DB suits. And if you remember from Hail Caesar, the main character, I forgot what his name is, but he is wearing a double-breasted
Eddie
suit.
Mannix.
Eddie Mannix, yeah, he is also
Yeah.
wearing a DB suit in that. Probably a swing tie too, because it's like 1949 or something like that, right? Or
Yeah,
what,
the movie Hail Caesar is set in like 49 or 50 or something like that.
Yeah. And so it's kind of fun to see that it definitely it feels like a vintage film, even though it's like 90s.
Yeah.
I can't think of any other modern movie that deliberately dresses their characters in modern clothing but is styled in a vintage way. I mean, maybe like The Great Gatsby is not that, because it is a period movie.
The only thing I could think of is like maybe Her, which tried to do like a futuristic thing, but also still like retro with everyone wearing like high-waisted trousers and like band collar shirts. But yeah, there's not like any movie that is like as stylized where it's like, okay, we're gonna like make everyone like visibly like retro. I don't know. I feel like audiences would see that now and they'd be like, "What the heck? Why is everyone dressed like it's the the 50s or whatever?" They'd get confused. They wouldn't just accept it.
I'm
mean,
confused.
here's the thing, though. It's like maybe we're just looking at it that way. Because I was watching a couple episodes of Friends, and the Friends are younger. They're not corporate, but there's some scenes where like I mean, I gotta look this up. Like they're wearing like camp shirts, but they're
Hmm.
90s. They're not vintage. It's not like Chandler wearing old ties or whatever. It's like a straight up like 90s camp collar shirt that looks 40s. And I was wondering like if Ross was like, you know, more feature, like he's walking around, like you see his more pleated pants. I wonder, and if everyone else is doing that, would I think it's like a period thing also, or back then that's just like a shirt a guy would wear, you know?
Yeah.
So this does run into that thing where like maybe this is just what like yuppie style is.
For those who haven't seen the movie, do we want to do a quick recap of what it's
Oh,
about?
absolutely.
Because
Yeah,
we've
let's do
said,
it.
I think we've said it's directed by Robert Altman. It's about it's a satire on Hollywood. It's
Hollywood.
one of those movies about like making movies, kind of, and it's filled with celebrity cameos. But yeah, the movie follows Griffin Mill, played by Tim Robbins, who is a Hollywood executive. I don't know how many spoilers we want to get in for this 30-year-old movie.
I wrote a brief. I mean, don't we normally talk about the entire
I
movie?
think we do talk
Yeah.
about the spoilers anyway. So yeah, he's a Hollywood executive. He decides
He's like a story producer or something like that,
yeah,
right?
like
Yeah.
people pitch stories to him, and then he decides which ones are going to become movies.
By
And
buying
there's
them, like
yeah,
he's the one who
exactly.
bids on them. Yeah.
Yeah, and so there's some writer that he like ignored. He said that he would call and then never did. And that writer has been sending him a series of
Like
like
death threats, basically.
yeah, like death threats on postcards.
Faxes.
And so
Yeah,
so
faxing.
he thinks he figures out like who this guy is. He goes to meet with him
and
at like
and here's the thing too, like he's kind of paranoid because there's a new guy coming in,
yeah,
and
that's right.
he's
Yeah.
kind of like everyone keeps talking about this hot shot Larry Levy, and he's like, so he's kind of concerned that maybe this might be embarrassing for him. It'll look bad. He hasn't produced a lot of stuff lately, also, um, and so that's why he's like, I gotta find out who this fucking guy is, you know.
Yeah. And so he thinks he figures out who he is. He thinks it's this guy
David
um,
Kahane.
David Kahane, who is a writer who lives in Pasadena.
Nice.
I give a thumbs
Very,
up.
yeah, we get a little Ethan hometown
Shout out.
hometown pride right there.
Hell yeah.
I did look up that theater that he goes to, the Rialto.
Where?
And
Yeah, where it's supposed to be on Fair Oaks. Where is the hell is this Rialto? Pasadena?
but it is now a church, I think.
Oh, that. Oh, yeah. That does make sense.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
it's
yeah,
like
it's
is it South Pass? I don't know where the hell this is.
But anyway, he goes
Oh,
to
yeah, the South
he
Pass.
goes to meet him at the Rialto. They have an argument. They get drunk.
Well, it's not even a meeting. So what he does is he
Oh, that's
he
right.
finds David Kahane's contact information in his records, calls it. No, he finds out he drives over there basically first, and then calls.
Hmm.
And then he talks to whoever the hell David Kahane's dating, which is like this British woman who has a German last name. And he's basically like watching her through the window, like painting, and he's like basically getting some jimmies off. And she basically says that David Kahane is at the Rialto. He goes there, and the showing is The Bicycle Thief, which I think originally is called Bicycle
Italian-
Thieves in the
Italian
original Italian.
neo-realist
Yeah.
film.
And so he goes there and kind of waits after to kind of talk to people. He's like, David Kahane. The guy's like, I don't know who you're talking about. And he finally does see him and tries to remember him. But the guy's like, dude, you walked past me when you walked in the damn actual theater.
Like 10 minutes before the movie ended.
Yeah. And so they try and talk, buys him a local drink at this local Japanese bar. Apparently David Kahane's movie that of course Griffin Mill does not remember at all is about
A student in Japan.
a student abroad in Japan.
He's pitching Tokyo Vice.
Yeah, basically, right?
Yeah.
Which is good. We gotta jump on that too. But Griffin tries to buy it to kind of get him to stop sending the postcards, which David Kahane assumes is a joke because of the fact it's about being abroad. And Kahane basically calls him out saying oh, imagine if it got out that just because some dude was mean to you, you buy his movie afterward. And that fucking makes Griffin freak out. They get into a small fight where they fall into this ditch, and basically Griffin Mill kills
Yes.
Oh man, I don't know if the people can hear that. I'm assuming
The
we can.
little horn.
The little horn.
Yeah, that's a
Hey,
go-to
wait, maybe
truck.
Ant
Sorry,
Man's over
everybody.
there. Ant Man's friends.
Yeah, it could be.
Whoa! Do you guys want to hear more about this movie?
No, I
Ow.
want to hear less.
I actually don't know how long into this we say the title of it, so I don't know. But basically,
I
this
feel like
bonus
we said it in
episode-
the beginning.
At least 4
okay.
times.
at least
Yeah.
4 times. Okay, well, hey, if you want to hear more, than just 4 times,
About
you gotta
the-
go to Patreon. Yes.
To be clear, this episode is about the player, directed by
Yeah.
Robert Altman.
If you did not get that from the beginning clip, you can go to patreon.com/downdirection, and $5 a month will give you access to this episode, the one before it on Ford v Ferrari, whoever wins we lose, and all the other ones that we've done. You also get access to our Discord channel, which is fun.
Mhm.
Full times, fun times.
It is a great channel. Everyone should be in it. Best mentor community on the internet.
I
Forever.
mean, not to lie, but I'm like, I've been
Not to
looking
lie?
at like, not to lie, but you know, I've been in Style Forum, I've been in Reddit. We're the best, baby. At least if you're like classic menswear. I will give a free patron to someone who convinces free patron for a year if someone can convince Derek to join the Patreon. If you can prove somehow that you did it, I'll give you access to our Discord. It's not a big deal. I mean, again, the Discord is for our loving fans who decide to support us, and we give them a great community. But if anyone can get Derek Guy in there, hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Legend.
And he's gonna stay for he can't just come in for one day. He's gonna come for the whole time.
The whole time. The rest of the time we're doing the podcast. You'll also notice that I finally turned on the feature after Discord bugging me about it every time I visit our server. I turned on the feature that shows how many boosts we are.
Oh, I
for
was
the next
wondering where
level.
that was. Yeah.
So hey, no pressure, but if you feel like boosting us, we will get a couple new bonuses or whatever features to the server every time we get another level.
Mhm.
So if you have Twitch Prime or anything or whatever, I guess not Twitch Prime because that's not Discord, but if you feel like boosting our server, that would be nice. Thank you very much.
Yeah, but that's also spending money on other things that are not us. So
But
if you spend
again, no pressure. We don't care about it that much, but I was just tired of getting Discord asking me if I wanted to display that literally every time I clicked onto our server. So
Damn. Well, anyway, join us in Discord. We're going to patreon.com. You can go to my blog, a little bit of rest.com. You can follow me on Instagram at Ethan M. Wong.
I'm at Spencer DSO.
And I'm at Aya MJ.
And we'll see you in the main line. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.